We are back at Seward Park in the 6 p.m. race on a beautiful May day. This is picking up about 20 or 25 minutes into the race, and it's been kind of a weird race up to this point. We should probably give a little bit of context. So, Taco Time, our team, have two leaders for the Seward Park 6 p.m. series this year. We've got Lucas, who is just an absolute monster in the sprint, and as of the start of this race today was wearing the leader's jersey by, I think, a single point. And then in second place, we've got Kyle, who is obviously not too bad a finisher himself, but is kind of more suited to slightly longer efforts. And Kyle was behind by a single point. They're in first and second for the series overall, and they've got a pretty nice gap. I think going into this race it was 9 or 10 points, or maybe 7 points to the third place rider. Now, why am I all the way in the back of this giant 60-person field? Well, the first preem has come and gone, and on the first preem, Lucas absolutely slammed it, just crushed it, sprinted all out for that preem, and got the point that comes along with it for the season overall, and then just blew up completely. He had some kind of minor medical issue. He's okay, but he had been falling back through the group pretty substantially, and I actually fell back from a decent position that I was in to well off the back of the group with my teammate James, who I don't think is in frame right now, to see if we could pace Lucas back onto the group. But unfortunately, Lucas ended up having to DNF the race. Like I said, he's okay, but he dropped out of the race after that first preem, and James and I spent, I don't know, maybe 3 laps just doing a duo chase back on to the very back of the peloton. So, all that is to say, it's about halfway through the race now. I'm pretty cooked at this point because we spent several laps chasing back onto the back of this group, and this is probably even a couple laps into me trying to move my way back up through the group, which is not terribly difficult, but is sort of easier said than done without expending too much effort, too many matches, or going too deep to move up through this group. You can see it's pretty strung out. This was actually definitely the slowest Seward of the year, of the 4 or 5 weeks that we've had so far this year. But it is a big group. There's probably 60 or more riders, and obviously there are some pretty significant pinch points, like this corner that's coming up where in the 6 p.m. everybody slows down who's not way on the front pretty substantially. So yeah, you can see the front of the race is maybe 10 seconds up there at the moment. So all that to say, the goal right now is just to move up through the group into the top, 15 wheels or so, where I'll be able to influence the race. And keep my heart rate from getting too high. I definitely have some exhaustion. I think it was the right thing to do to drop off the back and see, if Lucas could sort of get back in the game. It was hard to tell whether he had just gassed himself pretty hard and was going to be able to sit in my wheel and chase back on, which would have been best case scenario, or if he was just completely blown up, as was the case, and had to drop out of the race. So obviously I think that was the right thing to do from a teamwork perspective, but it does mean I've burned a lot of matches. Let's see, what teammates do we have? We've got Trevor on the left here, I think, on the Quick Pro. Oh boy, we've just got so many tacos in this race. It was a little squirrely. You kind of hear me chirping at people through that. There was a couple points in this race where it really slowed down either on the hill or going into the hill. And when that happens, it's always a little sketchy. People always, it's harder to hold your line. The person a couple wheels in front of you gets kind of squeezed and ends up having to move left or right a little bit. This is obviously the best place on the course to move up, is on the outside here. Boy, people were really moving up right up until the corner, as you will probably see here, and just slotting right in. which usually is okay. There was a couple points in this race. This race actually had, I think, 2 times someone, a single rider crashed out on this corner, just slid out. Luckily it was on the outside. I don't think they took anyone else out. Actually, one of the crashes might have had 2 guys, so I might be wrong about that. But yeah, it was just a tiny bit sketchy by Seward standards, which is to say, still not that sketchy. The guys who crashed seemed like they were okay. One of them was my friend Gary on Coalition. He seemed like he was okay, a little scratched up afterwards, but I don't think anyone was too seriously injured. But it was kind of a weird week. It was, the last couple weeks at Seward in the 6 p.m. have been pretty crazy fast. We've had some weeks where it's been faster than the 7 p.m. race. There's just been a lot of very motivated teams who have riders, including us, obviously, who have riders who want to get off the front. And this week, for whatever reason, that just wasn't happening. We had a couple little attacks from us, a couple little attacks from Medier, which Medier actually has a couple of different jerseys here because they just got a new kit going. So they have the black kit with the orange dots on it, and then they also have a white kit that's their older jersey that I think they still have a couple riders wearing in this race. Anyway, Medier and Taco Time were kind of trying to get something going off the front, but it just didn't happen. So that's about it. At this point in the race, we're kind of all in for how can we help Kyle, how can we improve his chances, whether it's to nab some preems or to score maximum points at the end of the race. I might shut up for a little bit and just kind of let it play out, see what happens, because it's going to be kind of boring for a couple more laps here. I'm still just sort of trying to move up as consistently as possible, keep that heart rate as low as possible, it is elevated beyond where I'd like it to be at this point in the race. Obviously not like crazy high, but I'm definitely a little fatigued. So not the most interesting couple laps coming. I'm just going to consistently try to keep moving up. So this is me finally making my way up to Kyle. Kyle on the sweet blue and orange Quick Pro is our current leader in the race. Obviously, I think at this point he's either virtually in the leader's jersey or he's tied with Lucas. And we want to make sure that we can maximize his chances at the end. So I was asking him if there's anything he needs. I was kind of saying, is there, what I was trying to ask is there anyone off the front? Do you need me to keep moving my way up and chase things back or anything? I learned after the race that my brother Soren, who is maybe on the front right now, he's somewhere up there in a Taco Time jersey. He's got a black helmet and a black Cervelo. And he told me he was basically on the front for like half this race. I had no idea, because I think the half the race that he was on the front was the half that I was either off the back or trying to move my way back up through the pack. So I just had no idea, but we've got plenty of dudes who are able to help Kyle out and help make pace for the team, keep it fast, keep it from having any threatening breakaways go. It's a thing that we're definitely working on this season, is sort of racing as a team. I'm constantly yelling at our other leader, Lucas, to not chase himself and try to get teammates to come chase with him. Especially, we've got probably a dozen guys in this race. There's a couple teams that have just a huge number of people. Coalition's probably got 10 people in this race. Medier's probably got 8 to 10, and we've probably got 12 or more. It's obviously, it's not a sanctioned race. There's no limit to how many people can be racing for a particular team. But it also means we have, at any given moment, a lot of guys who are able to help maintain the pace or, try to attack and go in a break or whatever. This is a preem. I wonder if Kyle actually wins this preem. He obviously, right at the start of this lap, just took off when went to the front. probably could have helped him out there, but it looks like he's on somebody's wheel going for the preem. I'm just sitting in. It again is just a tiny bit squirrely here. I think maybe a rider had a shifting issue here. Oh, here's my brother Soren is right in front of me right now. I'm wondering if a rider had a shifting issue there, because it seemed like one of those coalition riders was just totally falling back through the group. I was doing like 260 watts up the hill. I'm just trying to maintain position. I don't care. Oh yeah, there's that old Metier jersey on the left. He's right on the wheel of the new Metier jersey, that black and orange one. It's a cool kit. I like that new Metier kit. But we're gonna just chill it out for another couple laps. I will watch forward through this, and if there's nothing important, I might just fast forward for a lap or two here. This is me asking my brother if he wants to attack soon. Unbeknownst to me, he had been on the front for a number of laps already. So he told me after the race that when I came up to him and was talking to him there, he was like, "What do you mean? I've been working for quite a while." So, whoops, I didn't know. Again, hard to in a pack this size, actively monitor what's going on the front, especially when you're moving back up through the group. We are back in it with 3 laps to go here. I hope that speeding up was not too off-putting. I'm going to sort of try that so that it's not just 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever of mostly boring footage that I'm talking over saying a whole lot of nothing. I'm going to try to experiment with some stuff this year and see if I can make slightly more interesting videos that are focused on just the points of the race that actually matter and not just me moving up through the group. Ooh, that was a little funky on the left there. Don't really know what was going on there. But like I said earlier, things got a little squirrely this week. I kind of don't know why, and with like 4 laps and 3 laps to go there, we kind of were slowing down on the false flat before the hill. And when you slow down, things get really wide, and riders, it's just less consistent, which makes it a little less safe. So yeah, there's been a little bit of like, not necessarily specific riders for the most part, but just a tiny bit of sketchiness in this race this week. I think people are just excited. But now we're going into, 2 laps to go. You see the sign on the right there. So I don't really know what I'm trying to do at this point. I'm a little gassed. I'm going to move up and see if there's any way I can help Kyle. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to sort of sprint and take away points from other competitors so that Lucas dropping out of the race after that first preem is not terribly punishing for his overall. Obviously, we have a decent buffer as a team, having the number 1 and number 2 riders, and they've got a number of points over 3rd place, like I said. I think I did just say to Paul right here, like, all right, let's move up. Not sure if he heard me. And so that's kind of my bad. I was kind of hoping he could move me up. Somebody's got a mechanical there on the left, doing exactly what they're supposed to. But yeah, I mean, this is not exactly where I'd like to be with 2 laps to go. I'd like to be a little further up. I just was not totally on my A game this week, to be completely honest. But I do think we're going to be able to move up. This inside line here is just totally open here. There's a couple riders kind of freewheeling up ahead, but I'm able to make up quite a few wheels here. And then you get a little pinched off at the top here. This Medier rider, I let him know I was there. He gave me a little bit of space. That was very nice of him. But even though you do get a little pinched off here, you can see the riders on the right are moving up relative to where I am. Now you're on this left side, and you're able to move up pretty substantially. And here I really should have accelerated harder. I probably could have followed that Medier rider's wheel a little more aggressively than I did. He's even got a teammate here who's also moving up. Because I could have ended up, I don't know, 5 or 6. I could have been in front of where Soren, is that Soren? Whichever teammate that is there, right in front of me. I probably could have been in front of them. That's not Soren. I'm not 100% sure who that is. I think it might be Colin. But I'm still in not a terrible spot. Obviously, you don't want to be too far forward going back down there, but I am like 5 or 6 seconds behind here. So at this point, I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm not really going to be able to get to Kyle and give him a good lead out. I might as well just kind of see what I can do. I'm pretty gassed. And unfortunately, as you will see shortly, what I can do is not a ton. I'm definitely too far back on this last lap here. Again, I'm just watching this back, like, yeah, I should have been on this rider in red's wheel. There's no reason I was not on that dude's wheel, and could have even gone past him at that point when he kind of slowed down, could have slingshot past him a little bit and continued to move up. I'm in not too terrible a wheel here on this last lap, but unfortunately I do just kind of get squeezed off here. I picked the wrong line right here, and that UW rider moves to the left, and I just lost a ton of speed there, and that was kind of it for me. I knew that was kind of it for me, but I'm like, all right, I might as well just keep riding, finish in this front bunch, see what happens. Probably could have done a little bit more wattage here even, but I kind of have my eyes up the road at this point. I'm trying to see who wins. I think it was actually a coalition rider who won. Great job, kudos to the guy who won. We had a couple of riders in the top 6. We had Trevor and Soren in, I think, 3rd and 4th, and then Kyle in 6th, and he also won a preem. So as a team, we keep the leader's jersey. It just switches over to Kyle. I think Lucas is only 1 point behind. So not bad.